I haven't had a Mars bar in a while. They're a little bit heavy. I like celebrations. I like Mars bars and celebrations, but like a full Mars bar, it's a bit much for me. Milky Way though, they're pretty good. It's not like the best. In the celebrations box, Milky Way is one of the better ones though. For some reason, they taste significantly better in the small form. Bounty's the worst. You have the worst taste. You hate mint and you like Bounty. That's just like you are the worst taste. No wonder you write smut for a living. For someone sniffing mint chocolate, imagining a scented ass perfume. It's a well. You know, God forbid a man has hobbies. The moment that your hobby doesn't fit in with like the normal hobby, it's like, oh, what do? I play badminton. I collect trains. I collect trading cards. I like to paint models. I like gooning. What's wrong with that? It keeps me entertained. Keeps me out of trouble. I keep to myself. No one gets hurt. It's free. It's at the most cheap. You know? Do you think there has been a gooner on My Strange Addiction? The thing is, that doesn't sound strange. Like, the idea of being someone who's addicted to wanking doesn't sound strange enough for My Strange Addiction. Because the sort of things that you get on My Strange Addiction are people that like eat tape measures. This is Robert. Ever since he was 14 years old, Robert has had a special problem. A problem that many of us could fall into at any moment, but through willpower, don't. You see, Robert is a gooner. Yeah, I'm Robert. I just like wanking, you know what I mean? I started at age 14. I just started one day and just never stopped. Some days I can do it for 6 hours a day, some days 8. Some days I just have a little bit, just to treat myself. But it's becoming a problem. Can't get to work. I haven't been able to pick the kids up from school for 17 years. Lost me job, lost me dog, lost me wife, lost me house. I've been behind Tesco for the past 17 years of my life. Couldn't stop gooning though. I haven't got anywhere to live. But I've got a fortress of semen. Would you like to see it? Would you want to see my fortress of semen? It's like a spider's nest of cum. It's like a tunnel web. It's like a funnel web spider's nest. Come on in, make yourself at home. I'll put kettle on. Robert doesn't see anything wrong with his spider's nest of cum. Yeah, the doctor's got to get involved. Robert and his spider's nest seem happy enough, but the doctor says that if he keeps doing it, he's going to lose both of his testicles, and if he continues after that, his kidneys, and after that, his liver, and so on and so forth. In a little-known phenomenon in the human biology, if you remove the testicles, other organs come along and pick up the slack. Doctors are very concerned about his health, as he might, as they quote, come himself to death. I've heard what doctors have been saying about me, and I do think about it occasionally, but I got myself a 4-star apartment to come here, and I quite like it actually. I'm not like too bothered. I don't really think that there'll be much wrong with, there's not much wrong with me gooning. Like, I'm not hurting anyone, and the people at Tesco quite like me. They're not really they're not annoyed. They throw out scraps occasionally. Sometimes when a new volume of nuts will come out, someone will gift it to me. I got really annoyed though when the Sun stopped putting page 6 girls in, Robert was was pictured on the front of the Sun in a protest against the removal of the page 6 girls from the Sun magazine. He was championed as a hero for the page 6 girls, and was pictured on many occasions hanging around page 6 girls' houses, looking in. Many report he was gooning at the time, although the reports never came into the police that he was, so officially he didn't do anything wrong. I should make parody videos. I play every character. It's just fucking Robert the Gooner. And his fucking spiderweb of cum. Robert Lagumer. I've never seen My Strange Addiction. I was just making it up as I went along, based on what I assume it's like. I mean, you have to have an intervention bit where his family walks in on him gooning, and they're like, "Listen, Robert, you've got to stop." From what I've heard, they also do a thing where like they show how much they like consume, or like whatever. So they'd have to show how much cum he produces. And be like, and like they bring in like several like cement mixers worth of trucks and be like, this is how much cum you produce in a week. And it's like 18 cement mixers that come along, and they pour it out. They're like, and this is what it would look like on top of your ex-wife's house. I don't know. And like it doesn't work at all. It backfires, and he looks like really proud of it. At the end, you'd also have Robert Lagumer repenting for what he did. Like they'd have him for the sake of a story arc. They'd have him like become a priest or whatever, or like go to church, and have him like in like tears streaming down his face as he's like, you know, regretting what he's done. But then you'd have the end of credits scene or whatever, where they come back and it's like, we came back to see Robert after 14 years to see how he'd been adapting to his life outside of gooning. And and it's like, he's just even worse. He just went back immediately. Like, I've been gooning for these past 17 years and you can't stop me. Welcome to my fortress of sementude. I could do it with no hands, look. I've been developing, in my time away from this here TV show, I've been developing new techniques for doing it. Look, watch, I made a fleshlight out of my own semen from 6 weeks ago. I've been collecting this one. I've been baking this one. Got this in the semen oven. And it's like it's like spiderweb nest has turned into like a fucking like multi-story apartment building. I feel like something like that is, in theory, funny. But in practice, I feel like it might just be, it's just crude. Hello and welcome to my goon village. Robert has started a goon cult. Robert is looked upon as a god to these gooners. Some would say I've ascended and that I've gained knowledge that the other gooners would never hope to achieve with my level. And they're right. I have achieved a level of enlightenment that your average gooner can't possibly hope to comprehend. Behold my power. I can make anyone I want come within a 400-meter radius. Just at the click of my fingers. I've stopped many an edging streak with this power, and I intend to do it many more times. I use it, I hold it over my followers' heads. They don't do what I say. That's it, your edging streak is over. I have seen things that would make the mortal man cry. I've seen things, I've tasted things as well, but they weren't my proudest moments. I have ascended to godhood, I have. Robert the Forsaken Kuma. I can see that happening. Not him, not a man gooning and edging so much that they ascend to a god. I can imagine that a guy goes on something like My Strange Addiction for masturbating, and at the end, he doesn't change. And people see that, and gooners from around the world unite, like, behind him. I can see him becoming, like, a face, the face of the Kumas. I am the final one. I am the last man standing in this battle royale of royal jelly spilling. You're not gonna get any at Robert's royal jelly. My hive is completely secure. Never quite getting to the tip, but never quite going too far down. You will never take me alive. You may have scared off everyone else who is involved, and you may be trying to stop me, but you won't. I am Robert. That's like as the police are like banging on his cum door, trying to get him to come out. Everyone's surrounding it. There's like the area's been cordoned off. There's like several police cars outside shining light at this spider's web of seed, and he's just like he's just sat in the middle of the. He's doing that. He's doing the God pose, the Jesus pose or whatever. It's like that. But like, He's like levitating 3 feet off the ground. And he's completely naked. The snipers are very confused as to what they're looking through the windows. And he slowly is, yeah, he's just, I have ascended. My brothers. Like this, he starts to like raise up, and like the cum castle around him begins to like change. Like he's got power, like it opens up and he rises out of it and the spotlights shine on him. As he's like lifting up into the sky. A whirlwind of his warm man milk starts to surround him. There's a cum typhoon. It just like all of a sudden it's like it's really, really big and it's like going and then it goes and then it just like it explodes and then he's gone. Everything is coated in a thin to thick layer of his seed, and he's gone. Robert's gone. He ascended. Onlookers see it in slow motion. He's going. There's a small crater under where it is. Like there was power behind it, enough to create a crater, but not a huge amount. Cars have been pushed back a little bit. Alarms are going off. Everyone's confused. The police, the guy in charge of the police is like, he's like, go, like, trying to get him to go up to where he was. And they're like, they're lifting up their MP5s and their G36s, and they've got they're like pointing them. They've got the lights on, and they're scanning and searching for him, and he's gone. And he's never heard of again. That's it. He's gone. You get the occasional like gooning cult form where they will like have a statue to Robert that they all gather around and goon. And the statue is topped with a single daisy in reference to that single daisy that's in the crater. And it's the world just continues as if it never happened. Because what can you do? A man ascends to Kuma godhood, and like what can you do? Occasionally people will attempt to do it themselves, and it never works, and they don't get anywhere near what Robert does, but they do end up in a unrecoverable state where it's just over. Oftentimes you will see people going behind the nearby Tesco in small groups and just never coming out again. Being found several days later, sticky, still alive, but very sticky, very malnourished, very dehydrated, with torn ligaments in all their arms and legs. Scarred as well. There's task forces, who go out to deal with it, but it's a dwindling thing. You don't see it as much. Shortly after Robert ascended, you saw a lot of it, but now it's kind of diminishing. They've gone underground in some cases, literally. But yeah, Robert has ascended, and we haven't. Some do say that if you edge for 6 weeks, and then hold, as you are finally reaching climax, hold up a daisy to the moon, you will see him, and he will guide you on where to go in life. He does give you a sign, but no one's been able to confirm or deny that. There is an unnaturally high amount of cosmic background radiation in the parking lot, and in a lot of those places where people do attempt to ascend, there is also higher than average amounts of cosmic background radiation. In the ascended, in the car park that is known as, well, it's the Ascension site. The site of Ascension, that's remained a little bit more radioactive than usual. Not dangerous. They did fill the crater in, and the Tesco went back to normal. In some circles, it's known as the Stairway to Heaven, but that was more of a tabloid thing. It didn't. In Kuma circles, it just remained. It remains a holy site, to be fair. For them, that Tesco has a lot of troubles dealing with cult members showing up, the cult of Robert. But yeah, in that area, in the failed Ascension areas behind other Tesco's, they do report higher than average background radiation, but it dissipates after a few weeks. I've heard that, like, on the anniversary of it, though, that the Tesco that it happened in does actually sell it, like, does light a candle for him. There are some conspiracy theories behind that, because it's like, what did they know? Why did they light this one candle? One year the candle didn't get lit because the guy who does it he got incapacitated by a rogue, like a rogue seagull on his way to work. It just whacked into the side of his head and he couldn't get into work that day, so no one was around to light the candle. And on the year that the candle on the year after the candle didn't get lit, there was an unnaturally, like a statistically higher number of typhoons than usual. Not enough to, like, break the world down into chaos, but enough for statisticians to look at and go, what was different about this year? Yes. On the anniversary, there was also a musk that lingers around the Tesco. You can see his spirit. You know where he's been because of the pungent, warm feeling, the warm aroma that permeates your nostrils. It's a warm feeling. It's like the smell of fresh dog shit. But, you know, it's the smell of fresh semen. He never interacts with anyone during that either. You do just see his spirit. Some people seem to not be able to see him because they just walk through him as if he's not there. So some people have speculated that because you can see it, maybe that's something important. But, you know, that's only going on what people have said. No one has caught video footage of it because even the people that say that they have seen it haven't been able to take a picture of it. There is a lot of everyone describes it differently, which is a little bit, that's where it gets a bit, you know, everyone describes the smell differently. Should we stop talking? Should I stop creating cum lore? It's just like that. What we have just created is a fucking not Cthulhu. Well, yeah, kind of. It's a fucking H.P. Lovecraft-esque cosmic horror around a man that came so much he ascended to godhood, mixed with a little bit of, like, the sort of shit that goes on in Berserk. I was imagining, like, the part of it, like his ascension, was a bit like his Berserk's eclipse moment. There's a new Backrooms video. Is it by the guy? I haven't seen the other ones. I've never watched the Backrooms. The only knowledge that I have on the Backrooms is from Wendigoon's video on it. I'm fucking watching Wendigoon turn into the Wendigooner whenever a new analog horror thing comes out. The Wendy's Gooner. That is a modern day like cryptid. The Wendy's Gooner. It's just some guy that jerks off in a Wendy's bathroom. Ever since what's his name? George. Ever since Robert's ascension, people have reported sightings of the Wendy's Gooner. I think I've not really seen any. So I've like Kane Pixels' videos of things. I thought I was gonna say I never actually saw a Gooner at Wendy's. Hey, I never did, but, you know, people also say that they haven't seen me and the Wendy's Gooner in the same room at the same time, so I'll leave that as it is. I've never seen the Wendy's Gooner at the Wendy's that I go to, but people have spotted the Wendy's Gooner at the same time that I go in. Yeah, it must be a coincidence.